The new Apex Trader funding evals did not just change a few rules. They changed the whole game. And the biggest mistake right now is thinking this is only about end-of-day drawdown. It is bigger than that. Apex basically took the old messy system, cut out a lot of the gray area, and replaced it with something much more simple. That sounds good, but there is a catch. Actually, there are a few catches. So in this video, I want to show you what really changed, what got better, what got tighter, and why people are split on whether this is a huge win or a quiet downgrade. Because both sides have a point. Let us start with the part nobody should ignore. Apex removed a lot of the old pain. No more MAU rule. Apex was watching how bad a trade got while open, not just how it ended. That is gone. No more 5-to-1 rule. You could not take trades where the risk was 5 times bigger than the reward. Now it's gone. No more weird payout review process where people felt like they had to explain every trade. No more sending extra proof just to feel like maybe you might get paid. The message now is simple. If you follow the rules and the dashboard says you can request a payout, then you get paid. That is the promise. And that alone is why a lot of traders are excited. Because traders can handle strict rules. What they hate is fog. They hate rules that feel soft when you buy the account and hard when it is time to get paid. So Apex is trying to move from gray area to black and white. That is the good news. Now here is the part that changes how you trade from day one. You no longer just pick an account size. You also pick a path. Path 1 is intraday trailing drawdown. Path 2 is end-of-day drawdown. And if you pick the wrong one for your style, you can make your life much harder. So let me make this very simple. Think about a 50K account. The profit target is 3,000. The max drawdown is 2,000. That part is easy. Now let us say you are in a trade, and at one point you are up 2,000. Then the market pulls back, and now you're only up 500. On the intraday path, that earlier open profit can still hurt you, because the drawdown follows your high during the day. So your account can feel like it is choking you while the trade is still alive. On the end-of-day path, that same trade has more room to breathe. Why? Because the drawdown only updates after the day closes. So if you were up 2,000 for a moment and then closed much lower, the system does not punish you for money you never actually locked in. That is why so many traders wanted end-of-day for so long. It gives more breathing room. It gives more patience. It gives more room for traders who do not want to scalp every tiny move. But now comes the trade-off. End-of-day evals have a daily loss limit. Intraday evals do not. So on that same 50K eval, the end-of-day version gives you a 1,000 daily loss limit. If you hit it, that is a soft breach. That means the account is not dead. You just stop trading for the day. Come back tomorrow. That part is very important. A lot of people hear daily loss limit and panic. But on the eval, soft breach does not mean game over. It means the system taps you on the shoulder and says you're done for today. That is very different from the hard breach, which is touching the real drawdown and losing the account. So here is the simple way to think about it. Soft breach means pause. Hard breach means done. Now, let us go one layer deeper. The intraday eval path has no daily loss limit in the eval stage. Some traders love that. They say if you already know how to handle trail and drawdown, then why add another rule? That is fair. But others look at both paths and say end of day is the better deal because intraday still makes you babysit open profit. That is also fair. This is one of the biggest splits I see people talking about. Some people say end of day is the obvious winner. Others say if you already know how to beat trailing drawdown, then intraday is still fine and maybe even better for scalpers. So I want your opinion in the comments. Which one would you choose? End of day for breathing room, or intraday so you avoid the eval daily loss limit. If you want to try the new Apex evals, the link in the pinned comment gives you up to 90% off, and it also helps support my work. If this breakdown is helping you, like the video, and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to keep making these rule changes easy to understand. Now, let's talk about the new eval structure itself. This is one of the biggest changes, and it affects everybody. The old subscription fee is gone. The new eval is a one-time fee. No resets. No forgetting to cancel something and getting hit again later. You buy the eval. You trade it. You pass it or you fail it. That is it. And every eval now has a 30-day life. That means it is a real countdown. Not maybe later. Not whenever you feel like it. 30 days. Pass it inside that window or it expires. This matters more than people think, because it kills the old habit of stacking accounts and waiting forever for the perfect moment. Now there's a hard clock, and some people love that because it forces more structure. Other people hate it because it feels like extra pressure. Again, both sides have a point. There are only 4 account sizes now: 25K, 50K, 100K, 150K. The bigger sizes from before are gone. Profit targets stay simple: 1,500 on 25K, 3,000 on 50K, 6,000 on 100K, 9,000 on 150K. Max drawdowns are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. And max contracts on evals were cut down too. 4 on 25K, 6 on 50K, 8 on 100K, 12 on 150K. That is another change people are talking about. Some hate it because it limits aggression. Others say it is healthy because a lot of traders were going full size, flipping a coin, and blowing up fast. Simple example. If you have a 50K eval and 6 minis are allowed, that does not mean you should use 6 just because you can. That is like getting a sport car and deciding every road should be a race. The limit is there, but using less can keep you alive longer. That is the whole point of these new rules. They're pushing people away from chaos and toward control. Now let us say you pass the eval. Do not relax too much, because there is another new clock. You only get 7 calendar days to activate the funded account. Miss that window and it is over. That is brutal if you're not paying attention. So if you pass on day 29 and then forget to activate, that pass means nothing. You need to be ready. And yes, there is an activation fee. It's $79 for intraday funded account. And if you're going with the end of day option, the activation fee is $99. So end of day costs a little more to activate. For many people, that extra cost is worth it just to avoid the intraday trail on the funded side. Because here is something a lot of people miss. In the funded stage, daily loss limits matter on both paths. That is why some traders are asking a very fair question. If I still deal with a daily loss limit later anyway, why would I choose intraday funded unless I really love that style? Now, let us talk about funded rules because this is where the new model becomes much more strict. First, there's scaling. Second, there's a 50% consistency rule. Third, there's a 6 payout cap per account. That is the part that has everybody talking. Let us go one at a time. Scaling means you do not start the funded account with full-size freedom. You earn size as the account grows. At the start, you're not trading big. You are trading smaller and building a buffer. Then as profits rise, contract limits increase, and the daily loss limit can increase too. Simple version. More buffer, more room. Less buffer, less room. That is the logic. One example for a 50K funded account is this. Up to $1,500 in profit, you are at 2 contracts and a 1,000 daily loss limit. From $1,500 to $3,000, you move to 3 contracts. Around 3,000 in profit, daily loss room increases. Keep building, and the limits loosen more. So Apex is basically saying this. Prove control first, then earn more freedom. Some traders love that because it rewards patience. Some hate it because it slows down fast growth. And again, tell me where you stand. Now, the 50% consistency rule. This one is easier than it sounds. It just means one giant day cannot carry your whole payout request. Simple example. If your total profit is $4,000, your best day cannot be more than $2,000. That is the clean way to think about it. A lot of people actually like this more than the old 30% rule. Why? Because 50% is looser. It gives you more room to have a strong day without getting trapped by a tighter formula. So yes, it is still a rule, but many traders see it as a better rule. Now, payout timing. The new model says 5 trading days instead of 8. That is faster, but you still need to qualify those days. On a $50K account, you need $250 or more on a day for it to count as a payout day. So you need 5 real trading days, not just one lucky spike. And there is a safety buffer too. That is why some new traders get confused. They think, I made $500 over 5 days. Where's my payout? But you have to clear the safety line first. The account has to be above that level before the payout request makes sense. This is why reading the rules matters. Now let us talk about the biggest emotional point, the 6 payout cap. This is where the new Apex model clearly changed its identity. Before, people thought about massive long runs and giant payouts. Now the model is more staged, more controlled, more capped. You get 6 payouts per account. After that, the cycle is done. And this is exactly where opinions split hard. One side says this kills the dream of giant long-term, unlimited payouts. That side is not wrong. A 6 payout cap absolutely puts a ceiling on the old fantasy of running accounts forever. The other side says this is actually cleaner and more fair. Instead of a few huge lottery-style outcomes, more traders can get paid smaller amounts in a more predictable way. That side is not wrong either. Here is the easy math. Take 20 accounts. Take 50K accounts. If the first payout is $1,500 each, that is $30,000 across 20 accounts. If the second payout is $1,500 again, that is another $30,000. Now you're at $60,000. If the third payout is $2,000 each, that is $40,000 more. Now you are at $100,000. And that is before the later payout steps. So yes, the cap is real, but 20 accounts can still add up very fast. This is why a lot of people agree the new model is still very strong for disciplined traders, especially those who already know how to copy trade well. Now, here's what happens after payout number 6. Right now, the account cycle ends, you start over and do new evals. But soon, there will be a path to live accounts for stronger traders. So this is one of the places where I want to hear from you. Would you rather have the chance to restart after 6 payouts? Or would you rather Apex push top traders toward live accounts faster? Drop your take in the comments because this part matters a lot. There are also a few more rules you should not ignore. Legacy accounts stay on legacy rules. So if you already have the old system, these new changes do not suddenly rewrite your old account. That is important. There is also an activity rule on funded accounts. You cannot just disappear and expect the account to stay fresh forever. And there are clear no-go zones. No account sharing. No dirty hedging games across evals. No trying to trick the system with nonsense. The whole theme of the new Apex setup is simple. Less gray area. Less games. More direct rules. Now here is my honest read. Apex did something smart. They made the product easier to understand. They made payouts feel more clear. They made the path less foggy. But they also made the system more controlled, more limited, more structured. So this is not a pure upgrade for every trader. It is a better fit for some traders and a worse fit for others. If you like room inside trades, you may love end of day. If you hate daily loss limits and already know how to handle trailing drawdown, you may still prefer intraday. If you wanted endless payout upside, you probably do not love the 6 payout cap. If you wanted cleaner rules and fewer payout headaches, you probably do. And that is really the truth. This new Apex model is not about freedom. It is about controlled freedom. That is the difference. If you want to try the new Apex evals, the link in the pinned comment gives you up to 90% off, and it also helps support my work. If this breakdown is helping you, like the video and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to keep making these rule changes easy to understand.